Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've been here, and I had a little bit of time in between wrapping presents and cooking to make another flower. So I was going to try and make a dogwood flower tonight. Now, if you look at dogwood flowers on a tree, you'll notice most of them are white, and it's kind of like in a heart shape, and the very, very tip of it will be pink. It's really pretty. I love the flower. But if you look at other trees that are the same species, a lot of them have pink and white stripes that go through the petal. So that's the one we're going to try and attempt tonight. So I am using Fuchsia and White. Oop, would be nice if I set that up right. We're going to try and get more white than we are the fuchsia, so we might have to add a little bit more white to this as we go. So what I'm going to do is throw this in the pasta machine and run it at the thickest setting, make a really nice Skinner blend, and I will be back shortly. Okay, so this is what I ended up with, and as you see, there's a lot of pink in here. I do like the really light pink, but what I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to take a strip of white, and I'm going to run it really thin, like at a number 7, 8 on the machine, so that it goes all the way up. Okay, and that's just to give me a little more of a light pink. So now we're going to run that through. And I'm going to do this a couple times, and we'll be back again. Okay, so this is what we got. Didn't get as much white as I wanted, so like I said, I'm going to go ahead and add some more on there. But first we're going to just put this in a fan fold. And I ran it at a number 3 when I made it longer. Might have made it a little too narrow here. Yeah, I made it a little narrow. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white on its own. I'm just going to run it through the pasta machine at a number 3. I really don't care how it's going to look, really. I'm just going to kind of cut it and add it just like that. I'll do that again. Okay, that way we get a little bit more white down there. Okay, so we're going to take this pink and we're going to squish it about halfway up. Okay. I want that dark pink to come all the way around, because I want that to kind of be on the sides. If you don't get it all the way to the bottom, that's okay. Okay, and then we're going to cut it in half. And now we're going to try and get it to be stripy. And to do that, all we're going to do is push them together, make them a little long, cut them in half again. And do this. Okay, so and then I'll probably do one more cut and then start putting it into a triangle and decide if I want to go any more. I don't know if I want my lines really faint or if I want them to stand out as much as they are right now. So I'm going to cut that in half one more time. Okay. And this is where we're going to make the triangle. The white's going to be on the bottom. So now we're just going to pull it. I hope you guys are all staying warm out there because it is really cold here in California. I know I'm a wimp, yes. I got the heater set at 68 and it's been kicking on all night. I think it's somewhere in the 30s now, so it's cold. I'm not that much of a wimp. But it's warm in the house, but I'm still like chilled to the bone. I can't not seem to warm up. Alright, so we got that at about 3 inches. So we're going to cut that in half. So, I could leave it like that. I really like that. So I think I'm going to leave it, even if it gets a little more smaller or detailed or whatever you want to call it. It's okay. I think it's going to be fine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to round out the corners. Because I want that top to be round. There we go. We're going to end up putting it in a triangle again, but I want the tops to be nice and rounded. Okay, and just so that I've got a nice little border around it, because I don't want the leaves to all run into each other, I'm going to add a little bit more of this, but it's going to be really, really thin. So I'm going to say a 5 or a 6. Let's see what a thick look. This is a 5. If I have enough, I'll leave it at a 5. If I don't, I'll make it a 6. Let's see if I can maneuver this. I could have probably did it a little nicer. So we're just going to do that. It's about center. As you can see, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time. And when you don't, this is what happens. So I'm going to peel that off. Add a little bit more to this little bundle here. Let me go ahead and throw that in the machine and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we are back now. And yes, much better. So we're going to do this. I don't think it's going to go past that. Gonna leave a little bit of white showing, that way I know where the bottom is. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna put a strip of white in the middle right there, but it might be easier. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Just gonna put a really small strip of white. Just a real small one. Just to fit right there in the middle. Okay, and that's just our little mark. So we know where the bottom is all the way across. And while we have this out, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this green. This is going to be our middle of the flower. Somehow I cut this a little long. Alrighty, so that should be it. Okay, so now this is going to be a 4 petal flower. I don't make 4 petal flowers very often. A few little air bubbles in here. Quite a few, actually. Since this is 4 petals, I'm gonna go 6 inches. Okay, so that's what the end's gonna look like. That's really pretty, but not quite where we need it. So we're gonna stretch this just a little more. All right, so there's that. So we're going to cut each one of these at 1.5 inches. Okay, so now we're going to set those over there. And I'm going to go ahead and reduce this to, it's like a, I don't know, maybe 9-10 inch log, because we're gonna put it into a circle and make a really big center out of these. And I think I'm gonna wrap translucent around this so it makes it look like it's separated a little bit. So let me go ahead and do that. So here's some translucent. I'm just gonna make translucent at a number 3, but this really needs to be conditioned. So I will be back so that I can do that. Alrighty, so I've got this long strip of green here. I set my butt back down here. So I'm going to cut these all at about 1.5 inches and see how much we come up with. I'm wondering if we may need a little more. So we're just going to do this, and if we feel like we need more, which I have a feeling I'm going to need a little more. 1, 2, alright, we're just going to keep going. So we're going to double all of these. So these were all 1.5. So we're just going to go to 2 inches. Because it's going to be pretty big and I'm going to have to reduce it to get it back down to size. So I think we'll be fine with 2 inches. And if I have some thick ones, I'll even make that longer. Maybe to 3 inches or something. I think that one's a little longer. See, like this one's bigger. So we're going to take this one to 3 inches. Almost there. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. These two are big, so we're going to try and do 3 inches on these. It's almost time for my dogs to eat. So they're all starting to come in here, waiting for me to finish. So when I reduce the flower petal, I will probably run and go feed them so they don't have a fit. All right, we're going to do one more. Okay, so now we're just going to stack them up. So we have 1 in the center, 6 around that first to make a little flower. Okay, now we're just going to keep filling all the areas next to them. So I'm going to put that there. Now we're going to shape this to a nice little round log here. I think when you're working with fuchsia, that in red seems to stick on your hand. So a little bit of the translucent is turned a little pink. I don't think it'll matter since it's going to be in the center against pink anyways. But you can always take a little bit of alcohol and just wipe the top of this if you want to get rid of the pink. Or be smarter than me and just wipe your hands when you're done using the pink. Okay, so we're just going to cut this about right here just to see what it looks like. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so now the fun part begins. So if you ever look at dogwood, you'll see that on the very top it looks like a heart. So that's what we're going to do right now. Just going to create a little hole in there. Not quite even. Kind of make it look like a little channel. They don't have to be exact. Okay, so about right there is where you want it. And about right there. Okay. Ah. Okay. Do the same right there. Right about right there. Okay. So now you can see how it's all pressed down. Okay, and with that, we're going to fill up the inside with some translucent. And this is white translucent. With all my flowers, I always use white. Not quite as yellow as the regular translucent. And all of this is Sculpey Premo. We're just condensing it because there might be some air bubbles in there. Depending how big your little holes are up there will determine how thin you want to make these. So there's two. We have one more. Oh, there's one. That might be too thin. Okay, so now I'm going to come to the bottom. I'm going to bring it to a point, like we would a regular flower. I need that to wrap it, so we're going to put that right there. Okay. Don't push too hard when it's on a surface, because it'll end up flattening the top. I don't want them flat, I want them round. No idea what that was. Okay, so now let's just get this all nice and straight. Okay, so the flower is going to pretty much be like this. Okay, so now we just need the green in the middle. So I'm going to reduce this a little bit and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've got a strip cut here. So now we just got to determine if we need to go smaller or not. Because I want them to touch. Oi. I guess I could try and do it this way. Let me just see where I'm at. I think I might have to go a little smaller here. Just a little bit more. I'm not used to working with really teeny petals. So it just all seems really weird to have just 4. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, as usual, we are going to stick translucent in between the leaves. And I'm going to kind of try it a different way. So, I want it about 1.5 inches. Just going to put that right there on top. Don't know what that is. That's got to come out. So I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go 1 3/4 here. So I don't know how wide I'm going to need this. Alrighty, so we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to make a really sharp edge. I don't want to go all the way down, if that makes sense. I want some of this pink to touch each other. To about like that. Okay. So we're just kind of squeezing that top really tight. Okay, so we just need 2 more. Okay, and 1 more. This one was a little bit thin. So try it like that. All right, so now, okay, so that's the other one. That one, it's not tall enough. There. Okay. So now we have it packed on that side. Still doesn't seem like it's long enough. Okay, so now we're just going to run some translucent on the outside, and I'm going to run that at a 0. I'm going to fold that in half. Yep, that should be enough. Be nice if I used the right side of the blade, huh? I do that a lot. Some little areas here. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and reduce this, and we'll see what it finally looks like. Be right back. Alrighty guys, we are back. We haven't peeked yet. You know me, I'm always afraid to peek. So, are you ready? So I'm going to cut these about 2 inches. Oh, a little more than 2 inches. Alrighty, here we go. Well, not bad. Well, there's our little dogwood flower. Boy, I love the colors that came out. You know what would be really cool with this is, let me see if I can do something really quick. Let's see. I'm gonna just do brown. I mean, we're making this really, really quick. And some umber. I wouldn't use white. I would use like an ivory. But since I don't have that in front of me, I guess I can use, I can use, there we go. How about a latte? That's not a lot. Oh, ecru work. So now you've got ecru. I'm going to make this a little thicker. And umber. And I think this is raw sienna. And not quite enough contrast. This is what happens when I don't think things out. But anyways, obviously you're going to have a veneer underneath you or a base of black. You know, it doesn't really matter. know, and then you can just kind of, you can make it into a tree, you can make it into a vine. We'll make it into a vine because I don't have a veneer under me. I'm going to go the other way. This is just an example. Obviously, these flowers are really big. And I cannot cut a straight line for the life of me. So, you know, you can just do a background and you just kind of like lay out the flowers wherever you want. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow if I have time. So I can go ahead and maybe, I don't know, make some kind of a background scene on these. But these could be really cute as a veneer for a fairy door. You know, if you're making fairy houses and stuff like that. You could just have this vine going up. You could even, I don't know, cut it out. You know, it can be a stem, and then you can do some of these as branches. You know, something like that. This is where I get my ideas from. Is I just mess around like this. Okay, and then you can just, you know, make these a lot smaller, but you can do like a cluster of them. Obviously, these weren't cut very straight, so, you know, so, yeah, I don't know. I see something in my future. I just don't quite know what that is yet. But hopefully you like that. I'll bring you down to see the flowers on the wood itself. Okay, and I guess we will talk to you in a little bit. If you don't hear from me this week, I'll be back after the New Year's. So all of you have a safe and happy holiday.